Looking for a dose of nostalgia? Well, Classic Conversations is the perfect choice for you. Each week we dive into iconic moments from the past and explore their lasting impact on pop culture. From timeless movie classics to unforgettable TV shows, we cover it all. Join us as we revisit the moments that have shaped entertainment history and continue to inspire and entertain us today. Subscribe to our podcast, Classic Conversations, and relive the best of the past with us.
Life's too short to settle for the same old things. Whether you're picking up a new hobby or checking out that hot new restaurant in town, movement keeps your look and lifestyle fresh. With sleek, ultra-clean watches at a price that won't break your budget. With a wide range of fresh, modern designs and industry-leading materials, life never gets old with a movement on your wrist. Make your everyday sidekick for life's adventures a movement watch. Get 20% off at mvmt.com with code SLEEK. That's mvmt.com. Code SLEEK.
Coming to you live from the grassy knoll, it's Tennis Podcast. Today I'm joined by a returning guest sidekick host, the very rock-hard Art Stone. Art, how's it going?
Oh, Nick, I am great, buddy. How are you? It's good to see you.
Yeah, did you get your eyes checked recently? Maybe
I don't know what you're talking about.
New glasses, something's different.
I haven't seen this clear, I don't know, since my whole life.
Interesting, okay.
People say you shouldn't look back with what is that phrase? Rose-tinted glasses? I should probably look up phrases.
No, we don't have time for that because we have so much to cover today, and this is a very fun, meaty, juicy, plump, sensual topic.
Wow. All words that have been used to describe me.
Well, Art, who are you? Remind the folks who you are.
Some people describe me as the baby carrot with the weird green stub on the end that you don't want to eat.
Yeah.
And you end up throwing out. But in other places...
It's funny you say that. I was just having a conversation with someone today, and I was like, yeah, I've got this sidekick host coming on today. You know what he reminds me of? The little part of the carrot. And the person was like, yeah, that reminds me of that too. So it's interesting that you recognize that.
No, I know how people perceive me.
Mm-hmm.
Something to throw away. No, but in other spaces, I'm known as co-host of Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast. You can find it anywhere podcasts are sold, and we cover a whole gamut of weird, bizarre topics because each week my co-host and I, Andy, we are abducted by the titular Mr. Bunker. He legitimately, this is all true, and I've told you about this, and you do nothing about it.
Here's the thing. I feel bad about it, and I know it's illegal, and I know some charges should be pressed somewhere along the way against Mr. Bunker. But if I do that, then how are we going to get Mr. Bunker's podcast every week, right? So it's a trade-off. This is your sacrifice to society.
Yeah, it's my creed.
Yeah.
My sacrifice.
So now you understand. With arms wide open.
And you know what? Sometimes I am welcoming it with arms wide open.
No, I beat you to it.
You did?
I did, yeah, I said it. Get your ears checked next.
I need dinosaur headphones.
Yeah. So for people listening and not watching, Art is wearing sunglasses and the eyes are like dinosaur eyeballs. So
they're the coolest sunglasses ever. Chris Moneymaker from the World Series of Poker used to wear these sunglasses, and now I'm adopting them. I am Art Moneymaker, Art Podmaker.
Man, I don't even know what to do with that. We're talking. So as a quick reminder, you listeners might remember Art from episode 162. Where he guessed the top 10 creepiest creepypastas on the internet. He's also been on a recent Tennis Pod Plus bonus episode. But today we're going into the bunker, you might say, to chase down that whole enchilada.
Wow.
The elusive whole enchilada. So, Art, what's the name of your show again? Tell us. Slowly.
Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast.
What do you think is the key word in that title?
Time. We're talking about clocks.
We're talking about the top 10 fanciest clocks ever featured in a film. This will be easy, right? Everyone listening is like, oh, duh. Clock number 9 is going to be the clock from,
Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange. I don't know if there's even a single clock in that movie, Art.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
You've never seen it?
No. I don't like eyeballs.
So you feel free to layer it into references and conversations you're having despite it not being something you know anything about. Is that right?
No, that's what I want to do. I just want to give off this air of overconfidence that I think I know things, but I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess that's why you have a podcast. Am I right?
Too true.
Too true.
No words, yeah.
Well, Art, the key word in your title that I took to heart is conspiracy.
Whoa, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense.
I was going to do Mr. as my backup, but I thought conspiracy worked better.
Okay.
What is a conspiracy theory? It is an explanation for an event or situation that asserts the existence of a conspiracy by powerful and sinister groups, often political in motivation, when other explanations are more probable.
Wow.
Now, I think you'll agree with me that most conspiracy theories are probably not true.
Right.
But that often goes to automatically discredit theories that maybe there is something worth looking into there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I feel that way about alien stuff sometimes.
Right.
People just dismiss anything related to aliens or UFOs as a stupid, kooky conspiracy theory. And 99% of them are. But that means you're missing out on that one potential true story.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, what we often say on the show is that there's little kernels of truth to everything, right? And that's where it starts. And it's a very small kernel. But then the fun stuff, or sometimes the dangerous stuff, is where they take that kernel and they plant the seed, and then they let it grow into a crazy plant, and that plant has spores and funguses, and it rots your brain and such. So
yeah, and today we're going to be talking about lots of kernels of truth that are planted, because we're talking about the top 10 conspiracy theories ranked by Google search.
Whoa!
So these are the conspiracy theories that are most Google searched in the world.
Okay.
As of last year. So this is the calendar year 2022.
This might be, I don't know, there might be some surprises on there, but I think we'll see.
These are all really classic heavy hitter conspiracies.
Yeah.
Now, I was surprised at number one. I'm not surprised it's on the list, but I am surprised it made it all the way to number one. So
okay.
Let me tell you a little more about this list. I pulled from usdirect.com, Google Jigsaw, Yahoo, Wikipedia, and Google Trends. The team at, so let's see. Yeah, the usdirect.com, the first source I mentioned. Their team studied the conspiracy subreddit to determine the most popular conspiracy theories. I then took those theories, myself, Nick, Amel, host of the show, took those 10 theories and some other theories that are well known and ran them through Google Trends, which gives you a ranking of the conspiracy theories based on how often they're searched on Google around the world in the year 2022. That gives us our top 10.
Okay, wow. You did some research yourself behind this. You did some mathematics.
So, mathematics, I guess
you
I
did some
technically
algorithms, you did
some
plugging some things.
Art, what do you think is the dumbest conspiracy theory you've ever heard that's probably not on this list?
Oh my God.
You've heard a lot.
Oh, wow.
He's rubbing his eyes trying to think of
all the
conspiracy theories.
There's some where I've even on air, I'm like, this is so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I might have to pull up a list.
It's okay.
The glitter conspiracy is one that probably will show up on this list, and that one's pretty stupid. But it's also kind of cool, just because learning about glitter is really neat.
I'm having trouble remembering that one. How's it go?
That got a big resurgence on TikTok pretty recently.
Okay. It's not on the list, so you can feel free to tell us about it, yeah.
It was basically a New York Times journalist did what seemed like it started as whatever you call it, a puff piece. It was just going to be, oh, this is the glitter industry. Because there's an interesting fact that 80% of the world's glitter is produced in 2 factories, both of which are in New Jersey. That's weird. You hear that stat and you're like, hey, I'm interested in that stat. I want to learn some more about glitter.
That's me.
That's you. That's Nick. You read that stat and you do that.
Tell me about this glitter.
And so apparently glitter is highly secretive. The whole process for how it's made is more protected than Fort Knox. The journalists went there and the one company wouldn't even talk to them. The other one was like, we'll talk to you, but I can't. She was like, can I see how glitter is made? They're like, absolutely not. You cannot. No, you can't even come into the factory.
Yeah.
It's such a secret thing. And so the thing that people really latched on to was someone at the glitter factory basically kind of said along the lines of you'll never guess who our top customers are. You'll never guess. It made people go well, what the, what is it?
Who's buying all this
glitter? Yeah.
I mean, think, what are the practical uses of glitter? Put it on a birthday card, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Sometimes you put it on your body.
If you're Britney Spears in the Toxic music video, you put it on your body.
Which I frequently am when I'm trying to go to sleep. I do dress up like Britney Spears in the Toxic music video.
Who hasn't? Yeah.
Who hasn't?
Of course. Well, I usually do Britney Spears in the Oops, I Did It Again video when I'm getting ready for bed. But
That's a good look for you.
if we wanted to just talk about Britney Spears music videos, I could do that. So maybe another time, Art, I'll have you on. We'll talk Britney Spears music videos.
Okay.
Sound good?
That sounds great.
Art, despite hosting a conspiracy podcast, I happen to know about you that it takes a lot for you to believe in a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, we're both my co-host Andy and I
Skeptics.
are kind of pretty hardcore skeptics.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes we, I don't know, somebody out there, some kind of lore master out there has probably calculated how many times we've actually been plausible on anything, and it's very rare.
Yeah. But you covered one recently. Well, you know what? Before I give any hints, why don't you just go ahead? Give me a guess. What do you think people around the world, this is all countries all over the world, what do you think they're searching for most often on Google? And that doesn't necessarily mean they believe in it, but they are interested in learning about it.
Well, if it's one recently, it's probably Bohemian Grove.
Bohemian Grove.
That's a big boy.
That's a big boy. It's number 7 in the top 10.
Ooh, coming in at number 7.
It's the 7th most Google search conspiracy theory in the world. You just covered this very recently on your show.
Yep.
We covered it on Tennis Podcast in episode 55.
Ooh.
So I'm just going to kind of gloss over some of the, that's the other thing I wanted to say right up top is these conspiracy theories are so deep, some of them, like there's books and movies and podcasts and websites and more, all dedicated to these theories. So we are just going to skim the top of all these because we don't have time to dive into each of them. So I'm going to give an overview of them, and I encourage the listeners, if one of these tickles your taint just right and you want to learn more about it, there are resources out there for you to do that. So don't expect super comprehensive. But Bohemian Grove is a restricted 2,700-acre campground in Monte Rio, California, belonging to a private San Francisco-based gentlemen's club known as the Bohemian Club. And in mid-July each year, Bohemian Grove hosts a more than 2-week encampment of some of the most prominent men in the world. Now, there's lots of conspiracies about Bohemian Grove. And a lot of it has to do with the members that attend every year. It's an all-male membership. Girls are not allowed. No girls allowed. Too many cooties.
No. It's like our tree houses when we were little boys.
Exactly.
Remember, Nick, when we used to have that tree house together?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know we were sharing that with the world, but okay, it's out there. Yeah, we had a tree house together, and sure, we explored each other and got to know, we got to become more
Let's just say we used a lot of glitter. Let's just say we moved up the rank of customers who were buying up glitter.
It's true. I mean, I stole my parents' credit card to buy glitter as a child. Well, I mean, do you think they're like crushing up children's bones or something to make this glitter? Like, why is it so secretive?
I don't know, man. It's apparently like there's a lot of like chemicals and like chemistry involved in it. It's like a very difficult thing to do. It's aluminized plastic and they chunk it up in a ton of different ways. It's really wild.
Yeah. Well, also wild is Bohemian Grove because it's an all-male membership, artists, musicians, as well as many prominent business leaders, government officials, former United States presidents, senior media executives, and people of power. The Grove is particularly famous for a Manhattan Project planning meeting that took place there in September 1942, which subsequently led to the atomic bomb. And that's one of the things about Bohemian Grove is it's said that a lot of huge, earth-altering decisions are made there in private among the world's elite.
That's right. But I think when we dived into it, what you find is that its roots are really that it's like this weird theater camp. Mm-hmm. And it's just like a lot of old men like drinking too much and then publicly urinating everywhere. And it's weeks long, but like these big name people that always get brought up, they only show up like, a couple days and then they leave. They don't want to hang out with these dorks.
No, it's Dork City over there because, I mean, again, I'm not going to have time to get into all of it, but listeners should look it up or listen to Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast because you did, 2+ hours on this topic. But
we did.
They have plays and like they host little productions there. They have these ceremonies that are like super involved and it's all like really stupid shit.
It is.
That these grown like white balding men are doing in the woods. But, one of those powerful people that did go to Bohemian Grove was President Richard Nixon.
Right.
And I know you know where I'm going with this. May 1971, a tape recording came out with Nixon commenting on Bohemian Grove, and he said, quote, "The Bohemian Grove, which I attend from time to time, it is the most," trying to think if I should say the word or not,
It's a slur, a very, not a very nice slur.
Yeah. F-word gay slur. It is the most F-word gay slur goddamn thing you could ever imagine. That's a quote from Nixon.
That's right. Very colorful quote. And he also has said other things about the club where he's like, it's the greatest, you're the greatest group of guys ever. I'm not a crook. Stuff like that.
Nixon.
Where he brought the club like bad press because he made his press circuit follow him there or something. Like,
well, and he also brought it up in interviews where it's a
Right.
very secret society
Right.
of like, you're not supposed to talk about it.
not
And
supposed to talk about
it's
it.
rare that you hear anybody talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
There's very little public comment on Bohemian Grove, which is part of the reason it's so elusive and interesting, and people like Alex Jones sneak in there to try to capture video
That's right.
of Bohemian Grove to find out what's going on there. And according to people like Alex Jones, Bohemian Grove may be the site of some unsavory acts of sexual abuse or human sacrifice or child eating.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Lots of weird things that are said to go on there, most of which probably isn't true, but the people at Bohemian Grove don't do themselves any favors by having these weird-ass ritualistic ceremonies.
There are some weird ceremonies where they're like burning stuff to a giant owl effigy, and then there's like a skeleton thing that they carry in a coffin, and it's sort of like, I don't know, why does this happen? But, you know, I guess there are weird things, and it's very steeped in this weird old tradition, because it started in like the frickin' 1800s or something. It's old. So.
No matter what goes on there, it is definitely true that at times very powerful, influential people in the world are getting together and talking about things that end up affecting people all over the world. And like you said on your show, that doesn't just happen at Bohemian Grove for sure. But Bohemian Grove, especially in older times, pre-internet, was a place where these world leaders from different parts of the world could come together in one spot at one time, get naked, rubbing each other's balls, and then also talk about, making an atomic bomb and wiping out, an entire city in Japan.
Civilization. Yeah. What are you going to do? I mean, where else are you going to discuss that? When you're getting drunk of course, when you're getting drunk off of like gin martinis, whatever they make in gin fizzes, and having breakfast by the campfire. Of course, that's where you're going to do that.
Yeah. So that's Bohemian Grove. Art, if you were invited to Bohemian Grove to perform a live version of Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast, would you do it?
I think we'd have to, just out of principle. I mean, if you get invited, you gotta see what's up.
Yeah.
I don't think it would go over very well. I think we would probably bomb.
Yes.
And
now, are you referring to the atomic bomb that they planned there, or are you referring to like bombing the performance?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
I'm imagining like Rotten Tomatoes being thrown at us. Old school cartoon Hook comes over, grabs our necks, and pulls us off stage. And
you guys are like pulling on your collars when things aren't going well, sweating.
Yes.
What do you think Richard Nixon would say if he saw you guys?
He'd probably have more colorful language for sure. And he'd probably say something like, "Oh, wouldn't the socket to socket to me?"
He does have some like jowls, like impressive jowls.
He's got some jowls. Yeah.
All right. Okay. That's Bohemian Grove number 7. What other conspiracy theory do you think is being Google searched most around the world?
Well, you know what? You mentioned my awesome dinosaur sunglasses that I'm wearing. So that leads me to probably believe this is something we've never covered, and that's the lizard people.
The lizard people. This is definitely a popular theory, but I didn't think it would be in the top 10 above some others that I'll tell you didn't make it later. The lizard people, or reptilian conspiracy theory, is number 8 on the top 10. Yeah.
Okay, I'm hitting my marks, man. I'm on fire here.
2 for 2. The idea of reptilians was popularized by author David Icke, a conspiracy theorist who claims shape-shifting reptilian aliens control Earth by taking on human form and gaining political power to manipulate human societies. Icke has stated on multiple occasions that many world leaders are or are possessed by so-called reptilians. This is one of those rabbit holes you can go down, but the thing I kept looking for, and I haven't read David Icke's books or whatever, so he probably explains it in there, but just in doing the research for this before today, I'm thinking, where does this start? Unless David Icke is saying he saw a lizard person unzip his human costume, like how else are you coming up with all these theories? You know what I mean?
The thing about Icke is there's a lot of things about him steeped in anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a bummer, but there's a lot of that. And so it does stem from that. It also just stems from like the overarching entire alien mythos, which the thing I have the most fun with, and I've said this multiple times on the show, it's the thing that I just love it. It's like X-Files. It's the thing that it's just fun. It's warm and fuzzy. It's this idea that, aliens have been around for a long time. They're in contact with humans. There was these massive plots in the 1950s, Roswell sort of things. The Greys came down. We're taking tech from them. We're helping them do their kind of experiments on humans and abduct people, and we're okay with it. The Draconians are part of that. The Draconians are where the reptilians are descended from. They're a race of evil aliens. They're so evil. Yeah. They just want to take things over and destroy stuff. And there's like so much nerdy lore stuff that comes with the aliens, and I think that's why I'm so into it. But that's where it kind of steeps from, right? Like, yeah, it's fun.
And I know they're out there, clearly. I'm going to talk about it in a minute, but like how someone can hear a person say this and believe it at face value is just, beyond me. But then again, we have Scientology, so, right?
That might be on the list.
And maybe should be. So let me tell you more about David Icke's theory. He says that tall, blood-drinking, shape-shifting reptilian humanoids from the Alpha Draconis star system, now hiding in underground bases, are the force behind a worldwide conspiracy against humanity. This has been going on for thousands of years, by the way. Maybe millions. He contends that most of the world's ancient and modern leaders are related to these reptilians, including the Rothschilds, the Bush family, and the British royal family. And this is the part that blows me away. A poll of Americans in 2013 indicated that 4% of registered voters believe in this theory. 4% is a lot for something this far out there.
That's a good chunk of people.
Yeah,
it's a good chunk of people. In some ways, wouldn't it almost, I've said this before, it almost makes life seem a little bit easier. It almost makes the horrors of the world be like, oh, well, they're aliens. That's why. They're just evil reptile aliens. Duh. Like, it's not that humans are capable of horrible things when they're pressured by different negative influences like greed and whatnot. But it's just that, they're just evil reptile aliens. Duh. Like, that's it.
Now, as we're recording this, President Biden's State of the Union was not that long ago.
Right.
I want your honest reaction to this. If you were watching that and all of a sudden Joe Biden stood up and said, "It's time," and he reached behind his head and unzipped his face all the way down, and he was a giant reptilian alligator-looking humanoid. And then all the members of Congress stood up and they took off their suits, and you're watching this on TV. What's your reaction? What's the first thing you're doing?
I think I gotta...
Besides touching yourself.
I gotta put my pants back on.
Yeah.
First of all, I would have to go find you, Nick. I'm not leaving you behind.
Thank you.
No podcaster left behind.
Well, except Joe Rogan, but the rest of us, we got to go find the real Mr. Bunker's bunker to hide,
I think that's probably what we would have to do.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because we don't clean very often, but...
No.
Yeah, we would just have to live out the rest of eternity there. It's not a big deal.
I mean, as long as we have each other, but why are the reptilians doing this to us? They want to influence our society, sure, but what's the end game?
They just want to take stuff over. Yeah. They're like colonizers.
Such a long game, though.
It's such a long game. It's like, oh my God, just blow us up, please. It's like, just frickin' Death Star the thing. You gotta take us over from the inside. Oh, boy.
Right. He says as he's wearing his reptilian eyeglasses.
No, I don't know, man. That's why it's all just like in good fun, where it's just like, there's these evil reptiles. They're scary,
Well, this is one where, like, most of the theories on this top 10 list, I could see, like, okay, I could see where that originated. I can see the kernel of truth in there. But this one is one where I'm just like, I don't see it. It's fun to talk about. Like, I enjoy talking about it. But as far as, like, the validity of it, probably not.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to really look into it. We've never done it, so I don't really know. You're right. I don't know what the origins really are.
Yeah.
Of why it's always reptiles, too. Why are they always bad? Like, reptiles are cool.
Yeah.
Why are they always bad guys?
Why aren't there bear-tillions, like that are human, or monkey, or stink bug, or dung beetle? Like, why is it always reptilians?
Yeah.
Right.
It's never like evil elephants or something, or like anything else.
God, that would be so much more badass, though. They have trunks under there.
They do.
Yeah. Someday.
Yeah, someday.
Yeah.
Once the zoo lets me back in.
If the reptilians are a conquering empire that just colonizes new planets, And it stands to reason that there's an elephant empire out there somewhere that maybe they're more peaceful. Maybe that's the thing. They're not going...
Elephants are pretty intelligent.
Yeah.
Apparently, they really do feel things. They like piano music.
Okay.
I mean, Nick, don't scoff, but sometimes when you're feeling blue, you're feeling a little sad, a little down in the dumps, look up some of these elephant conservation videos where they save these elephants that are like abused in carnivals and shit, and they just like play piano music for them, like live music, and then the elephants dance. It's a good time. And then,
It sounds like a great time, and I kind of wish we weren't even talking right now so I could go look at that instead of doing this. Look at watching elephants dance to piano music. That sounds great. Okay.
Well, now I know what you're going to do all weekend.
No, that's
your Saturday night.
I'm having trouble even concentrating right now because I'm just thinking about cute damn elephants doing the two-step to some piano music.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What's up, rewatchers? My name is Dustin, and I have questions. Like, do you remember who the Lakewood Slasher is from MTV's Scream? Or why did Angela choose Jordan at the end of My So-Called Life? Or just how melodramatic can old TV movies of the week get? Want to rediscover how addictive The Magicians can be? Or maybe you need to laugh at the disastrous relationship advice from the UK sitcom Coupling. Don't worry, at the Rewatch Recap, we got you covered. On average, a person rewatches their favorite TV series just to find comfort in an otherwise chaotic world. And on the Rewatch Recap every Monday, we hope to accompany you through each episode of a random TV season, reanalyzing and questioning every moment filtered through a fun, rose-colored lens. So log into your streaming apps or pull out your old DVDs to join me and a special guest host every Monday on the Rewatch Recap, available where most podcasts are played.
Nick here with a quick interruption to tell you about our next partner, Athletic Greens. I started taking AG1 by Athletic Greens because I wanted a supplement that actually tastes great. As you know, that's not the easiest thing to find. But so many people kept recommending AG1, so I finally gave it a try. Now, I take AG1 every single morning. It feels good knowing I'm covering my nutritional bases in the morning, and it helps me feel prepared for the day ahead. Like many of you listening right now, I was initially hesitant to start taking AG1. It's hard to know where to start with supplements and who to trust, but AG1 makes that so much easier. Very quickly, I noticed that it helps me feel more energized throughout the day, and I just generally feel better too. I know the little body elves living inside me are so grateful that I began taking AG1. And your body elves are craving AG1 as well, so give it to them. It's just 1 scoop of powder mixed with water once a day. That's it. Every scoop is packed with 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients of the highest quality that give me major benefits like gut and mood support, boosted energy, and even healthier looking skin, hair, and nails. Oh, baby. It's the healthiest thing you can do in just under a minute. My AG1 is delivered to me every month, so it's been super easy to make it a daily habit. So I'm asking you to join me on this journey to better health. Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase of AG1. Go to athleticgreens.com/tennish. That's athleticgreens.com/10ish. AG1 by Athletic Greens will not only support your health, but it will support the show, Tennish Podcast. So check it out. That's athleticgreens.com/tennish, or just check the show notes for a direct link.
You have a lot to focus on every day. Let Virginia Premier focus on your health coverage. Our health plan is only focused on Virginia, so we can connect you with quality healthcare and local resources. Our added benefits give you more value on top of your medical and drug coverage from Virginia Medicaid. See our benefits at virginiapremier.com/Medicaid and have your whole family with the same health plan. Virginia Premier, focused on Virginia, focused on you.
Psst. Want to skip ads like that in the future? Go to tennishpod.com/plus. Sign up and you'll never hear an ad on Tennish Podcast again. Art, do you have another guess?
Oh, I've got plenty of guesses.
I'm sure you
I
do.
don't want to lose. I want to try and get like almost... Has anyone ever gotten a perfect score on Tennis Pod?
Just me.
Jesus fucking Christ, this guy. Full of himself. I'm trying to think if there are any cryptids that have made the list. There probably are. They're really popular, but I also don't know if you're categorizing those in that list.
The closest that would have been on here is Bigfoot.
Right.
But Bigfoot and cryptids were not included as a conspiracy theory.
Then I'm going to stick with the alien angle and I'm going to go Men in Black.
Oh, that's a good one. I didn't think of that, but no, it's not in here.
Oh.
There is more aliens in here, and you even mentioned one of them in passing.
It's got to be the Greys.
The Greys. Can you be more specific? What event?
Roswell.
Roswell is number 9.
Yeah. Ooh, okay.
So you got
wow,
7,
I did
8, 9.
7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
I've almost got like a whole, like, a straight.
A bingo?
Or like
You got a bingo.
a bingo or a flush.
Well, I mean, we're mixing a lot
Wow.
of different games right now.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stick with bingo.
Okay.
Because it's on a row of 5, right? Isn't it usually you get 5 in a row?
Because you're an octogenarian at heart, right?
Wow, okay. God damn. At least I've seen Clockwork Orange. Let me tell you about Roswell. This one's one of my favorites.
Yeah, this is
The
a great
incident centers on the recovery in 1947 of mundane metallic and rubber debris from a military balloon that crashed near Roswell, New Mexico. So they say.
one. Mm-hmm.
Decades later, conspiracy theories began claiming that the debris was actually from a flying saucer and that the truth had been covered up by the United States government. And we know the United States government has never covered up a truth before, so it's hard to believe. The Roswell incident was not widely discussed until the late 1970s, so about 30 years after the actual event, when retired Lieutenant Colonel Jesse Marcel, in an interview with uologist Stanton Friedman, said he believed the debris he retrieved was actually extraterrestrial in nature. UFOlogists began promoting a variety of increasingly elaborate conspiracy theories, claiming that one or more alien spacecraft had crash landed and that the extraterrestrial occupants had been recovered by the military, which then engaged in a cover-up. And of course, the official story, again, is that a weather balloon had crashed, not an alien spaceship.
Womp, womp, womp.
Your hot takes, Art.
Weather balloons are pretty relevant at the time of this recording.
That's true. That is true. Didn't even think of that, yeah.
But no, I mean, who doesn't love Roswell, man? I mean, this frickin' rules.
I love Roswell.
This is a great topic. And the Greys are cool, and it's fun, and they're kooky, and they're cute, but they're also kind of scary. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting topic for sure. You know, I don't know if I could give a plausibility score without covering it in depth, but
Well, give me your plausibility score now based on what you do know.
I got to go with 100% plausible.
Yep, me too.
It's case confirmed. It has to be based on what you just told me.
Yeah, I think it's too fun to consider. Like, it's such a fun story to think that, and it's classic, right? Alien spaceship crash lands here on accident. The debris is, and even in some theories, the actual dead bodies of the Greys are collected and taken to various places, including somewhere else that might be on this list later, and studied and fondled. They're playing with the aliens' tits and all that stuff in
Oh yeah.
this.
Mhm.
These
No, wait, keep
laboratory-
going.
No, I'm good. That's it. I wanted to work alien tits in there, and I got it. I mean, aliens have tits too, right? The Greys have tits.
You always try to do that. Every time I come on, you're always like, I'm going to work into alien tits. You say that before we start recording. And it's like, okay, Nick, like,
I got it.
we're talking about the top 10 Wendy's fast food chain items. And let me see how you fit this one in.
Okay, well, starting now, I'm going to get alien tits into every episode I've ever recorded for the rest of my life. I'd rather die than not get it in an episode.
That's a life goal if I ever heard one.
Would you let the aliens abduct you, Art?
You know, no. I would probably have to fight back. I think at the end of the day, I've said this before, I'm on the side of humanity, okay? I'm going to fight back against these aliens. I'm going to take over one of their badass space cruisers. I'm going to probably marry an alien wife and then lead an alien uprising.
There are a lot of presumptions here.
No, just like a cool group of like rebels, you know, and like we're like fighting. I mean, you could be a part of this, Nick, but it sounds like, unfortunately, I will have to destroy you. Like, you're giving me no choice.
I'm on the side of the aliens on this one.
Yeah, well, see, Nick, sorry, I'm on the side of humanity.
You said you're going to marry an alien wife, so you're on both sides. You're playing both sides.
I will unify
Okay.
the aliens with the humans. See, that's what I'm going to do.
You're like Will Smith in iRobot.
And it has nothing to do with like how lonely I am and how it's like, oh, I'm this weird dude who like goes on podcasts and then has a rider that I hand to you before the show where I say you have to work in the word alien tits. It has nothing to do with that, Nick. And then I blame you on air.
I want the listeners to think about this too. Is this episode better or worse for having alien tits included in it? I want to know, because I would contend and I would speak before a judge and a jury that this episode has been improved immensely by the mere mention and repeated mention of alien tits. Go ahead. I'll hear your argument, but it's not going to be right.
I'll hold you in contempt of court all day long. I don't know what it means, but I'm going to hold you in it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Objection.
Art, would you motorboat an alien's tits?
Of course I would. I'm a red-blooded American, Nick. What the fuck?
Okay, all right, sure.
It's like saying, Art, would you wake up and breathe?
But even if it was like 3 or 5 tits, like an odd number, you'd still do it?
Those are my favorite numbers.
Okay. Great. Noted. Everyone writing that down. Art would wake up, and just as much as he needs to breathe every day, he needs to motorboat a pair of 3 to 5 alien tits at a time.
Yeah.
Okay.
How else do you get through the day? Like, suck it to me. Like Nixon, with my jowls.
Yeah. Oh, man, imagine his jowls in there. Imagine the noises of his jowls slapping in and out of alien tits.
If aliens are real, I do hope that Nixon fucked one of them.
He could have been one. He was a reptilian, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He was a reptilian. I forgot about that.
All right. Well, let's close the book on aliens. You got one more alien-related thing on this list.
I think it's Area 51.
It's Area 51, and the beautiful thing about Area 51 is it's number 6, so you now have 6, 7, 8, 9.
Wow, look at that.
I think you might be using some super advanced alien technology to peer through my eyeballs and see my list in front of me.
Wow, I can see with Nick's eyes. You've got Nick Mills' eyes.
What is that? Oh, it's the song like the... Okay.
Betty Davis's eyes. Yeah.
Okay.
Sung perfectly in tune.
Oh my God.
It's too late for this.
Area 51. What can you tell us about Area 51, Artie?
I mean, Area 51 came into prominence. When was that?
1955, it was built.
Well, that was when it was built, but when were they doing that, let's charge Area 51 that can't stop all of us?
2019.
Oh my God, that was 2019?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Wow. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Area 51, secret military base, lot of
in the Nevada
spy
desert.
planes.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the Nevada desert. If you're not from the U.S., Nevada is on the western kind of side of the U.S. And so,
if you're not from the U.S., just go ahead and fucking unsubscribe from the show as well.
Yeah, there you go. Now you tell them. If you're not waking up every day motorboating some alien tits, then you go ahead and you unsubscribe from this podcast right now.
Do it. But first, rate and review us 5 stars.
Yeah, give us 5 stars, please. But no, yeah, it's a secret military base. It's like, you cannot get on this base. I don't think anybody without clearance, very high government clearance, you have to get on this base.
Yep.
You will be, basically there's a big sign that says you will literally get shot on site if you
People
go
have been
within,
shot
like,
trying to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just a lot of probably like spy plane tech. That famous stealth bomber plane was probably built there and tested there first. So it's been home to many a stealth aircraft and other neat tech.
And it's also home to the dead corpses of gray aliens that landed here in Roswell that the government's covering up.
That's right. They're there. They're chilling, hanging out.
Literally chilling. They're on ice. Area 51, details of its operations are not made public, which that's like, if you want us to stop speculating about us, then just tell us, like, broadly at least what you're doing there. It's commonly thought to support the development and testing of experimental aircraft and weapon systems. It's believed by many to include the storage, examination, and reverse engineering of crashed alien spacecraft, including materials supposedly recovered at Roswell, the study of their occupants, and the manufacture of aircraft based on alien technology. Duh.
Whoa, that's crazy.
But even more crazy, in July 2019, more than 2 million people responded to a joke proposal to storm Area 51 on an anonymous Facebook post. The Facebook event, scheduled for September 20th, 2019, was billed as Storm Area 51, They Can't Stop All of Us. And the goal of the event was to, quote, see them aliens. So over 150 people did actually do this. 150 people made the journey. It's over several miles of rough desert roads to get near the gates of Area 51. And they were arrested. I don't think anyone was shot in this case, but they were arrested.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they did not I didn't see that anybody got shot in that.
Oh, man,
case.
I didn't know that. Well, I didn't know people got arrested. I thought it was just like a bunch of kind of dorks and like memers kind of showed up and like
I'm reading again.
partied outside of it.
7 people were
But
arrested.
some people actually tried it.
150 actually like stormed the gates or tried to. They only got so close. What do
Dude.
they expect to happen? It's like, when they stormed the Capitol on January 6th, that was pathetic. But it's like, like these people look like nerds compared to those people, and they're storming the gates of Area 51, the most secure, probably military base in the world.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
They're going to shoot their
mean,
Magic the Gathering cards at them or something to try to get them to open the gates.
Yeah, let's hope they brought their red decks, am I right?
But yeah, it blows my mind that people did that. But hey,
That is
people
wild,
blow my
man.
mind every day.
Mm-hmm.
People blow my alien tits every day. All right, so we're done with aliens. What else you got?
I've got a whole thing in my bag of tricks.
Well, you can't get a single wrong guess, or else you're done with the perfect 10 attempt.
Yeah. I'm going to do a wild card. I'm going to do the world ended in 2012.
Oh, I like that one. Not on here.
Fuck!
Yep, so there goes your perfect 10.
All right, well, good night, everybody.
That was Art Stone. Listen to Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time, and I'm going to get another guest real quick that can actually guess the top 10 list.
Well, fuck. I thought that one would be on there. That's a fun one.
That's a
but
fun one. I love that one.
I guess that didn't make the cut.
And remember, that probably was number one in like the year 2012, right? Or 2013.
That's true.
But
That's true.
these Google searches happened in the year 2022. So,
Okay.
and that's extremely relevant to like numbers 1 and 2 and 3. The timing. Do you want a hint?
Yeah, throw me a hint.
So we're done with aliens, but we're not done with space. The moon.
the moon is hollow? The moon is a base?
The moon landing was fake.
Oh, Jesus Christ, duh.
Duh.
Oh, I forgot about that
Don't
one.
you host a conspiracy podcast?
Oh, we did that years ago.
Maybe the conspiracy here is that you're not even the real Art Stone from the show. You've been replaced by a dumber, slower, less good at guessing Art.
I don't know if I can get more dumb. Yeah, okay, the moon landings. Yes. This is one, okay, you just reminded me of one where I think I've said before that it's the stupidest conspiracy ever. Or one of them.
I think it's stupid, but I love it. It's number 10 on this
Yeah.
list.
Okay.
So here's the facts. In July 1969, astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, listeners of the show, became the first humans to land on the surface of the moon. Or did they? By the 1970s, 30% of Americans believed the moon landing had been faked. Alternative histories soon materialized. The primary idea is that the footage of astronauts taking their first steps on the moon's surface, which hundreds of millions of people watched on live TV at the time, that was actually shot at Nevada's Area 51.
Oh.
Yeah, they've put a film studio in Area 51. Some people say that even Stanley Kubrick, director of The Shining, among others, was involved. Alleged evidence includes the flag fluttering, despite there being no wind on the moon. Footprints on the surface of the moon from walking on it, despite there being a lack of moisture on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
They say radiation would have fogged the cameras. They say that the photographs taken were doctored, and there's a bunch of other things too. And these have all been debunked, but I'm just telling you what they'd say.
Mm-hmm.
And as recently as 2019, a updated survey said that 10% of Americans still believe this was a hoax.
Wow. That's weird to me because there's been multiple moon landings, right?
Yes.
The thing is like even the people, even it's so fractured, the moon hoaxers. Their like big argument is that, well, they faked it back in July. We believe they went there later. They faked it back in July, and therefore they need to come out.
Right.
And they wasted all that money. And it's like, that's what you're upset about? Like, whatever it was, like $100 million in 1969, that's what you're upset about? Like,
Yeah.
Get over it. We've wasted more money on stupider things. Like,
Much
you got to
stupider
find a
things.
new hobby, bro.
Well, the motivation would be like a denier would say, well, yeah, we went there later, but we lied about this one because we wanted to beat Russia in the space race.
Right. Exactly. And the argument that I think makes the most sense for me is that think about all the data that goes into the moon and getting a rocket ship to the moon, and especially from in the 1960s. This wasn't like it is now where things are in the cloud or whatever the fuck they
It's
use,
incredible
right?
to think that these dumbasses in
Right.
the 60s were able to get to the moon, right?
Yeah, with technology that is more dumb than the phones that we have in our pockets.
It's
right?
true, yeah.
Or between our cheeks, or wherever we keep our phones. It doesn't have to be, we could keep our phones in unconventional places. That's
True.
okay. We should normalize that.
Where we keep the
But-
phone is actually irrelevant to the point that you're making, is your point.
That's right.
Yeah.
So imagine like the idea that there's all these people in this room who are analyzing this data in real time, like 100 people, like hundreds of people. They're all analyzing it, talking to the astronauts out in space. And so you're telling me that they also somehow faked all that data so that all those people in the room are also in on that this is fake and they're lying. Every single one of those people has kept their mouth shut for however many years it's been since the 1960s. Like it's been like 80 something years since or who knows how long it's been, 60 years, a million years since the 1960s. I don't even
It's
remember.
been at least 300 million years.
This is why I'm not an astronaut. I can't do math. So,
Well, yes, Art. And if you weren't on the government payroll trying to, I don't know. I mean, it is ridiculous, but
you know what I mean, though?
Yeah,
It's
I
like
do.
all those people. And it's like, so you're telling me then there's another group of people who then faked all that data and fed fake data into those people so that they could then pretend it's true. Like,
yeah,
it
but would that be harder than actually getting to the moon? You know what I mean?
yes.
Now, for the record, I don't believe the moon landing was fake. I'm just playing devil's advocate for the hell of it.
No, of course.
Your point about all these people being in on it, it's a good point, but it's also true for everything. How could the reptilian lizard people thing be true? And how many people would have to be in on that for that to, like, you know,
That's a big thing about Andy really likes, my co-host Andy, really likes that argument of like, the more people that get involved with these conspiracies or a cover-up, the less secure it suddenly becomes. Because suddenly now you have to have lifelong leverage over those people to like make sure that they never spill the truth, even on their deathbeds, right? Like when there's like no reason for them to not be like, oh, and by the way, I helped fake it. Go look at my trunk. There's the photos. You know, like
are they a goblin when they?
yeah. They unzip their mask and it's like they're a goblin. You know what I'm
But
saying?
that's why I do. I know exactly what you're saying, and I agree. But that's why I like Roswell and Area 51,
right.
because first of all, it's a smaller group of people that have to be involved.
Mhm.
And secondly, there are people that have come out that were involved with those and said, no, I did see alien shit at Roswell.
Mhm.
I did recover. Like it was the retired Lieutenant Colonel Jesse Marcel with Roswell that said, oh no, I picked up material that was extraterrestrial. So it doesn't mean he's telling the truth, doesn't mean he's right, but there's
What?
at least people speaking out against that. Whereas no one has come out and said, you know, the chief of staff at the White House has not said, you know, when Biden whips out his dick to go pee at the urinal, it's actually a reptilian dick. I've seen it.
I've seen it
Yeah.
with my own eyes. Yeah, you're right. I mean, no one has really ever come out and said it. And it is the most thorough debunking that has ever
No,
existed.
it's not. Number one on this
For the
list.
moon landing.
No, I'm saying
Oh, really?
number one is so easily debunked at every corner, and it's still number one on this list. But we'll get there. But I want to tell you about the moon landing. Apparently in 2018, NBA star Steph Curry, I don't know if you follow the NBA, I don't.
I do.
But I've at least heard of Steph Curry. He said he didn't believe in the moon landing.
There's a lot of things that NBA players say, especially recently. Some that have actually relevantly are in the news right now have said that are quite a little out there, and
Yeah.
some are very hurtful.
Well, I don't know
As well.
why anyone is not putting all the stock in the world in what these NBA players are saying. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
get rid of every scientist, historian, and
Mhm.
everyone that works at NASA, everyone smart in the world, rocket scientists, replace them with NBA players, will be a better place.
Would be a lot more basketball, that's for sure. And who doesn't love basketball? Remember Space Jam?
Yeah, I like
Space Jam kind of combines everything.
Yeah,
Aliens and basketball.
yeah. The original Space Jam with Michael Jordan was life-changing for me.
There is no other Space Jam as
Yeah,
far as I'm
no.
concerned.
I'm with you. We're old now, Art. Okay, so I think we're completely done with alien-type shit and the moon landing. So now you just need 1 through 5.
I have a feeling the 1 through 5 are a little bit more real, a little bit more
Yes,
heavy hitters.
Yes, they are. And I think number 4 is the most plausible of all of them, in my opinion.
I don't know what that could be. I'm going to assume that 9/11 is on that list somewhere.
It's just outside the top 10. It's like number 11.
No fucking way. Really?
Yeah. In fact, let me read you a few honorable mentions that barely didn't make it. 9/11, or 9/11 was an inside job, was just outside the top 10. The MK Ultra experiments.
Oh,
The Denver International Airport.
okay.
That's one of my favorites.
That's a good one.
They say that that's like a secret underground bunker for the world's elite.
Mm-hmm.
The plandemic, as in COVID-19 was a plan to control the population.
Okay.
Chemtrails. I don't know a lot about that one. The Deepwater Horizon.
I don't know anything about that.
I don't
I've never
either.
even heard of that.
New Coke. Do you know that one?
I mean, I know that New Coke was a abysmal failure, but
Yeah. There's conspiracy theories about it. I don't know them, though.
okay.
And this one is the stupidest one on here, and it's that the Holocaust never happened.
That is one that I don't think I will ever touch with a 10-foot pole because it's disgusting.
That's like you were saying, it's like so easily proven.
Mm.
It's like, yeah, but we don't have to get into it. So those fell just outside the top 10. So let me, for a hint, for number 4, think about like the conspiracy theory that everyone talks about, that everyone knows of, even if they're not into conspiracy theories. Everyone's heard of this one.
JFK?
JFK.
Whoa, that's in the top 10? Wow.
Yeah, number 4, man.
Man, that is one that we get railed on for what we how we covered it. We get more hate from that one than anything.
Really?
I probably should have recognized that would have made it into the top 10 just from that fact alone.
Well, I'll give you a chance to defend your position here. But JFK, the 35th president of the United States and listener of the show, was assassinated on Friday, November 22nd, 1963 in Dallas, Texas, while riding in a presidential motorcade through Dealey Plaza. He was riding with his wife, Jacqueline, and the Texas governor, John Connally, and Connally's wife when he was fatally shot by Lee Harvey Oswald, allegedly, who was a former U.S. Marine firing gunshots from a nearby building. The Dallas Police Department arrested Oswald just 70 minutes after the initial shooting. On November 24th, so this is 2 days later, as live television cameras were covering Oswald's transfer from the city jail to the county jail, Oswald was fatally shot in the basement of the Dallas Police headquarters by Dallas nightclub operator Jack Ruby. Fucking Ruby. That's what, well...
Ruby.
Not trying to get ahead of myself, but this dickhead is who we have to thank for all these damn conspiracy theories, because if he would have just let Oswald live long enough to talk, then we wouldn't... Yeah, anyway. But some people say that's part of the conspiracy, so...
Could be.
Kennedy's assassination is still the subject of widespread debate and has spawned numerous conspiracy theories. And polls conducted over several decades found that up to 80% of Americans suspect there was a plot or cover-up. And former LA District Attorney Vincent Bugliosi estimated that a total 214 people had been accused in various conspiracy theories.
Wow.
Some of these theories include a CIA cover-up, the mob, Fidel Castro, even Senator Ted Cruz's father, who worked in the CIA. And this is a good time to give you a friendly reminder that Ted Cruz once ate his own booger during a TV appearance in the lead up to the
why'd you remind me of that?
to the 2016 presidential election. For that alone, his father should be investigated. You know the clip I'm talking about, right?
Yes. Now
right.
You're making me visualize it.
Listeners,
Really
check the
gross.
show notes for a link to a YouTube video of Ted Cruz eating his own booger while trying to become president of the United States. Love it.
Oh, man.
I have more,
So
but
where'd
I'll
this
pause
come in
there.
as?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, I have more, but this is a good time to break. So this is number 4.
Okay. Yeah.
I think all time, this would be number 1. But looking only at the year 2022 is what we're looking at. So
I got you.
yeah. The Warren Commission concluded that the Lee Harvey Oswald had acted alone in killing Kennedy and wounding Connally, and that Jack Ruby acted alone in killing Oswald. Kennedy's last seconds of traveling through Dealey Plaza were recorded by Abraham Zapruder on silent 8mm film for the 26 seconds before, during, and immediately following the assassination. And according to the Guinness Book of World Records, in 1999, an arbitration panel ordered the United States government to pay $615,000 per second of film to Zapruder's heirs for giving the film to the National Archives. So the complete film is valued at over $16 million as of 1999.
Holy shit.
So probably way up now.
Wow.
So this is the one, like, there's so much content out there about the Kennedy assassination.
This is one that we've been talking about revisiting for the longest time. It's like a 4-hour episode, and we didn't even cover everything on it. I don't even remember what I said or what I think about it.
Well, what do you think now then?
The evidence is really crazy. The Zapruder film is insane. You should definitely, if you're listening, go look it up, because it's like crazy that somebody captured that as a part of history.
It reminds you of, like, if only we had cameras at, like, all these other pivotal moments in history, you know what I mean?
Very true. And the Seinfeld parody of it is even funnier once you watch it. So the magic bullet theory is a big linchpin in this, and it's that this idea of how the bullet traveled and what type of bullet they used and the type of gun. It's a very specific chamber of bullet, or sorry if that's the wrong terminology. You know,
we have a lot of gun-toting red Republicans listening right now.
I don't know.
Really upset with you.
People who really like guns. So it's the caliber of bullet, and the way that it flew through the air, how it struck Kennedy, went down, hit his wrist, and then hit Governor of Texas was sitting in front of him, and it like I forget where it hit him. It like hit him like, I think in the wrist, and then the thigh, it like lodged in his thigh. And so there's this PBS documentary that did like a lot of in-depth look into the magic bullet and like how that would happen in the ballistics. And it kind of leads you to believe that there had to only have been one shooter. Because that's the big thing, is the grassy knoll, right? There's multiple shooters. Then it kind of leads you to believe like, okay, well then obviously then it has to be Oswald. And then Oswald had to have been some kind of Patsy or
he was put up to it by someone else.
Or a goatsy, as we sometimes say, you know.
Wow.
You putting gross shit in my head, I'm putting gross shit in your head. That's how it works.
I didn't eat my own booger while running for president. Don't put that on me. You got to take that up with Senator Ted Cruz. If he's back from Cancun yet, from deserting his own family.
Nick Amell 2024.
Oh, fuck. Don't put that on me. Does that mean you're my vice?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's run.
You got a shot. Oh, wait. We're not 75 years old yet. I don't think we're eligible.
Oh, fuck. You're right. We're not. Just in spirit, not in actual age. But there's so much crazy stuff with this, like the mob angle, the kernel of truth. There is a CIA document called the Family Jewels.
Yep.
Where they did employ mobsters to do work for them. I mean, it's gnarly.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And the CIA had their own motivations for getting rid of him, too.
Of course.
And President Lyndon B. Johnson had motivations. He hated Kennedy.
Right.
So we're just not going to have time to go into it. But I encourage listeners to look into it if you're interested, because you could easily fall down a rabbit hole. Like you said, Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast, you've covered it. I really like the series that Last Podcast on the Left did as well.
Yep.
So yeah, it's wild. My original sidekick host Brandon used to say this, and I have come to agree with him, which is what I believe is usually the last thing I heard about it, because there's so much compelling evidence on every side of it.
That is a great way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's JFK assassination. There's someone else that was potentially assassinated, but that might misdirect you, but someone that died.
Jeff Epstein.
No,
What?
I don't blame you for guessing it. It's a good guess. Should probably be on here, but it's not. 2021, I bet he would have.
Well, okay, is it his brother, Robert?
No. What year did Epstein die? Or, quote unquote die? Was that 2020 or 2021? Let's just look it up. We have the internet at our disposal.
I don't know.
We don't have to just sit here rubbing our chins for the next 10 minutes.
Rubbing our chins.
All right, Jeffrey Epstein. 2019. Holy shit.
Wow. Watershed year.
Yeah, fuck.
Wow, okay. I don't know.
Okay, we're going international with this one.
Oh, Princess Diana.
Princess Diana. Yep.
Princess Di. Aw, my favorite Beanie Baby.
Yeah. Do you think your favorite Beanie Baby dying is higher or lower than JFK?
Well, by process of elimination, it's higher. Because I only have my top 3 left.
No, you have number 5 left, which is
Oh,
this one.
what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
What did you think 5
Really?
was?
I thought we covered 5 already. Oh, fuck.
You're drunk.
I'm losing my mind. Okay, that's
Princess
number 5.
Diana. She was the beautiful young royal outsider known as the People's Princess, and was killed in a car crash in Paris in 1997, 1 year after her divorce from Prince Charles. Conspiracies immediately abounded. She was dead at age 36, by the way. The conspiracy specifics vary, but the crux of most Diana-related theories is this. Car accident that killed her was not an accident.
Bum, bum, bum.
At the time of her death, she was dating Dodi Fayed, an Egyptian film producer who died in the limo alongside her, who was supposedly planning to propose to Diana the night of the accident. In a court witness statement, Dodi's father, Mohammed Al-Fayed, said they were killed because the monarchy couldn't stand the thought of Diana and Prince Charles's sons, heirs to the British throne, having a stepfather who was Egyptian and Muslim. Dodi's father also claimed Diana was pregnant at the time of the crash, though the coroner who examined Diana said she was not. An inquest that started in London attributed the crash to grossly negligent driving by Paul and to the pursuing paparazzi who forced Paul to speed into the tunnel. I think Paul was the limo driver. Yeah, Henry Paul.
Right.
He was drunk at the time. This is another theory. He was drunk at the time of the accident, intentionally crashed the car. Because Paul was the head of security at the Ritz Hotel in Paris, where the couple had departed from just prior to the crash, conspiracy theorists believe that he might have been on the payroll of a national intelligence service group that wanted Diana dead.
Whoa.
So, Why are you denying Princess Diana was intentionally killed as part of a massive conspiracy, Art?
I don't know if I am, dude. I don't remember what I said about this one, but honestly, I don't know. I forget when we looked at the evidence, but it could be true. Who knows, man? We don't have like that whole connection to the royal family. I'm not like a royals person. I don't care about them at all. I don't know anything about them. It's just they're like people bring them up, and I go like, oh.
Why do you
okay.
have a Prince Edward tattoo then?
Because I like tramp stamps.
Ah, you just chose the first one they had on the board at the tattoo party.
I chose the first piece of flash I saw.
Yep.
It happened to be while I was staying in London.
Yep.
I got a tattoo of Prince Edward above my ass. Okay.
Hey, it's fine. I like looking at it. Is there a Prince Edward? Am I making that up?
I have no idea. That might be Shakespeare.
There is a Prince Edward, but that's not who I was thinking of. Who's the really old one that looked like a vampire when he died?
Charles?
That was Prince Charles, okay.
Wasn't that her husband?
No. Prince Charles, yeah, that was her husband. Who was the one that died in the back, or he was in the back of the car and he had like sunken eyes?
Oh, yes. Phillip.
Prince Phillip. That's who I'm trying to think of. Prince Phillip.
I think it's Phillip.
You're right. You say you don't know anything about the royal family, but you do.
Tee. Where are my monarch heads out there? I love the crown.
Well, yeah, I don't know a ton about this one, but this one seems plausible. I mean, they're not claiming anything that's, there's no aliens coming in. There's no ritualistic sacrifices. There's no, fake moon landings. This is just somebody wanted her dead for
And it's kind of simple too, right?
Simple.
It's just a car crash.
Yeah, car crash.
Like, it's just like, oh, oopsie.
Right.
And it's like,
So I just don't know enough about the facts to believe one way or another, but it definitely seems plausible.
Yeah.
The tournament is where Cinderella stories begin and big wins happen on the biggest stage. With Gambit DC, you could make your Cinderella story a reality. Take advantage of new player bonuses online and in-app, or play in person for boosted parlays. You can bet on all 63 games, even if your bracket's busted, and play from the edge of your seat with exciting in-game bets. Make your bets now with Gambit DC.
Terms and conditions apply. Please play responsibly. Okay, here's how Miro works. See, it's amazing.
What's everyone doing at David's desk? Ever since marketing started using Miro's collaborative online whiteboard, he thinks all our other teams should sign up. Why? He says Miro's making his meetings disappear. And if every team gets on it, that means even less meetings. They're using Miro for brainstorms, mind maps, customer research.
So could we use Miro instead of having another 100 meetings for every round of feedback?
Yep. You can comment, react to ideas, even leave a recording on the board.
And what about presentations?
There are Miro templates for that.
How do you know so much about Miro?
I've actually been using it all along. I just used a Miro board to plan the best vacation.
Okay, I'm on board.
See how Miro users save up to 80 hours every year by meeting less and doing more. Get on board at Miro.com with 3 boards free forever. That's MIRO.com.
Have you ever felt that your life has no meaning? Do you wake up in the morning dreading the day ahead? Do you feel lost? I'm Tanner Campbell, host of the podcast Practical Stoicism. Every Saturday morning, I explore the ancient texts of Stoicism and derive from them practical takeaways that anyone can implement to live a more contented and fulfilling life. Search your podcast listening app of choice for Practical Stoicism and join me each week to explore Stoicism practically and discover how it can help you live better.
All right, let's do a quick recap. You got number 10, the moon landing was fake, obviously. Number 9, the Roswell incident. Number 8, lizard people, or reptilians. Number 7, Bohemian Grove. Number 6, Area 51. Number 5, Princess Diana's death. Number 4, the JFK assassination. And you need 3, 2, and 1. Before you guess,
Wow.
I asked my followers on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me at @TheNickAmel. And I asked, what is a well-known conspiracy theory that you believe in? Some of this might help you with your guesses. So, Walk from Insensitive Culture, who was recently on the show, he said the New World Order.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't guess yet. From the Watch Recap on Instagram, the Mandela Effect.
Oh, okay.
I love the Mandela Effect. I don't know if I consider it a conspiracy, though.
Yeah.
That's the Mandela Effect is, right?
Of course, it's the Berenstain versus Berenstein Bears. It's
which is a real fucking thing, by the way. Swear to God.
Freaks you out.
Okay, from One and Done TV on Twitter, they say that the lost Dutch girls in Panama, that is 100% a government covered up. And he said that, this is Ian, he said he was on your show talking about this.
That's a crazy one. That's a wild one. I don't, I mean, it's more of true crimey, though.
Yeah,
I don't consider that a conspiracy. That's true crime.
Same thing I thought of.
Unsolved mystery.
So Murderific, their host Bernadette, has been on this show before too, Tennish. She said on Instagram that 9/11 was done by our own government.
Wow.
That's a hot take.
It's a hot take.
Because I've definitely heard the theory that 9/11 was known by the government or wasn't prevented by the government when it could have been, or there wasn't enough done.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely a strong...
That's kind of the angle that we took, was that, there weren't enough preventative measures, there was lax security, but like, dude, you want to talk about kernels, that one's got
kernels. Up the ass with kernels. You got corn falling out the ass of that one.
Yeah.
Big time.
Call me Orville Redenbacher.
And last one that I'll read here is from Take on the Academy on Instagram. They said the JFK assassination.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the JFK assassination, like I said earlier, I think that's the one I subscribe to most of all these.
Wow. We got a good smorgasbord hodgepodge of things there.
Yeah, I definitely said a lot of words in a bundle of words, and there's things there for sure.
No aliens, though. What the hell?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But that's only a small sample size. I mean, we did have other people say alien shit. But one of the answers that I read there is in the top 10 that you haven't guessed yet.
I think I know what it is. And I think I'm going to go New World Order.
New World Order is number 2 in the top 10.
My favorite wrestling heel stable,
Right.
the New World Order, the NWO, evil Hulk Hogan.
Well, brother, let me tell you something, brother.
Well, brother.
New World Order is number 2, and it's a conspiracy theory that hypothesizes a secretly emerging
You got it, buddy.
Totalitarian. I kept trying to say tortillian, because of reptilian.
Tortillian's my favorite aliens, the Tortillians.
It's late, everyone. Give me a break. Well, they're trying to put a tortillian world government.
As the guy on the show who mispronounces everything and fucks shit up, don't give Nick a hard time for mispronouncing shit.
Don't worry, they will.
Right? It's hard.
I hear every week from people
They
saying,
will.
I can't believe you mispronounced this and that.
Yeah, let's hear you get on a fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Let's hear your dopey ass voice, huh? Hey, come over here.
No. Oh, no. The New York accent's coming out to say no arts. Getting serious.
I'm getting Italian.
Yeah. He's gonna get his alien tit sucking fist out. I don't know. The common theme in conspiracy theories about a new world order is that a secretive power elite with a globalist agenda is conspiring to eventually rule the world through an authoritarian one-world government, which will replace sovereign nation-states. Many influential historical and contemporary figures have therefore been alleged to be part of a cabal that operates through many front organizations to orchestrate significant political and financial events, ranging from causing systematic crisis to pushing through controversial policies at both national and international levels, Art, and as steps in an ongoing plot to achieve world domination. Go ahead, try to refute that. I dare you.
That's a lot, dude. Like, where do you even fucking start? I mean, God.
This is fascinating stuff. Really fascinating insight you're providing here. Thank you.
Sorry, we've never covered it, so I don't really know a lot of it. We've kind of tangentially touched around it.
Well, it's kind of part of Bohemian Grove. It's part of Reptilians.
It is.
Yeah.
It's also part of Bilderberg Group, right? That there's this group of elite people who control everything and they just run the whole world, and it could be satanic, it could be this, it could be that. Again, what's the kernel of truth here is that obviously there are corrupted entities in the world, right? We all agree. This is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's just this idea of that, I don't know, like just kind of controlling things for some sort of system. This fits into Project Bluebeam too, right? Where it's like...
Project Blue Balls? Yeah.
Project Blue Balls, which is... that was me in college, you know what I'm saying? Oh, come on.
Well, okay, so this might help you. A lot of people... New World Order is also extremely tied to theories around the Illuminati.
Oh, yes.
Around Freemasons, the anti-Semitic protocols of the Elders of Zion, among others. Conspiracy theorists of the Christian right believe there is an ancient occult conspiracy which seeks to implement the New World Order through a one-world religion that prepares the masses to embrace the imperial cult of the Antichrist.
Yeah, that's the big one.
It's just like the Christians to persecute themselves before they've been persecuted, right?
Hey, that's that's why it's the logo. It's a dude hanging on a cross.
Yeah.
It's all about persecution.
It is their logo. Great marketing, those Christians.
Great marketing.
Yeah. That's a 2,000-year-old ad campaign that's still running strong.
Suck on this, Nike. No, okay, now you're like refreshing my memory a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes. These are like huge topics that, they're so difficult to like dive into because there's so much.
How can we even touch on it, without
it's the Illuminati, right? It's that these are, sometimes these videos can be really fucking funny though. It's like this, look at, you watch this Rihanna music video, she's making all these satanic hand gestures. And I'm like, is she though?
And why?
I don't know.
Why is she doing that anyway?
Yeah.
What's the whole point? If the whole point is it for it to be a secret society and that we don't know they're coming, why are they flashing hand signals in music videos?
I don't know. I do think that there are predatory industries that often get lumped in with this, especially Hollywood and music, right? But Hollywood and music are very predatory in nature. The very nature of both of those industries are based on your looks, based on your talent, and then as soon as what was that?
Based on your butt, too.
Oh, yes, you're right. It is about, it's about the tush. It's about all the tush play. But the keister. What's that you always say? Something about nice asses? I'm seeing you posting online.
Nah, I don't know
about
anything
nice
about
butts?
That. Nope. I don't have any forever reference for that. Sorry. You might have the wrong guy here.
I'm talking to you like I'm your parent. I'm what are you posting online, Nikki? You posting about asses?
Precisely why my parents can never know that that this podcast exists.
What does it say here about you?
They're from New York, I guess.
Posting about asses online, Nick. You're supposed to be up in your room studying. I'm Nick's father.
It's getting more and more New York with every word, but also they think I'm in my room studying, even though.
No, but you're right? It's about your looks. It's about all this predatory stuff. And so, of course, there's this feeling of those people, I guess, sort of trying to say that there's this weird controlling aspect, because there kind of is, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's this gatekeeping to it. And I think that's why it's, only certain people are allowed in. It's based on your looks.
There are many members of Hollywood and the music industry that are claimed to be alleged Illuminati members, including obvious Illuminati leaders Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
Kim Kardashian talked about butts earlier.
You did.
Maybe there's something.
She broke the internet.
LeBron James
just broke the scoring record. How else will he get that?
No, you're right. Lindsay Lohan.
Herbie the Love Bug. I mean, come on, the Illuminati.
Damn it, Art, that was in my notes to bring up Herbie. Fuck you. I thought I was so clever for that. Oh, this is a deep cut. Art will never think of this Herbie reference.
No, dude. I'm on the same fucking wavelength as you. You don't even realize.
God damn it.
We're cut from the same cloth, Nick. You're looking at me, you're looking at a mirror.
Looking at a mirror. Jesus Christ. Fuck. That was a good joke, though, right? Good reference, the Herbie thing.
It's a great reference.
All right.
I just love Herbie the Love Bug.
Yeah. And Donald Trump was the last name I had written down. One of these things aren't like the other.
That's right.
All the rest were beautiful celebrities, and then Donald Trump. You're fired.
He's got the hair of a celebrity hair, I guess.
Yeah.
Teased hair.
What was it he used to say?
You fired.
Well, that's a good segue. Quick plug I want to sneak in here. If you've ever been fired, you might want to listen to our new bonus episode on Tennis Pod Plus. I hope you get fired up to listen to it now. It's available for Tennis Pod Plus members, where Dr. Buster joined me to discuss the top 10 reasons people get fired.
Wow.
We also included some real-life experiences with getting fired. You'll want to listen to that now at tennispod.com/plus. You can also listen on the Apple Podcasts app right now. And there's a direct link in the show notes as well. So you have no excuse, people. Made it easy for you.
I want to listen to it.
Okay, well, I'll give you an hour. We'll meet back here in an hour.
Yeah, okay. Cool, we'll finish this up around midnight. Sounds good.
Sounds good. I'm already struggling. Can't do that. So, okay, you just need number 3 and 1. And these are both very 2022 things. I mean, not just 2022, but just recent years. These have come up a lot.
I have
What's something tied to Donald Trump and a presidential election?
Oh, okay. Well, the rigging of the 2020 election. Something like that.
But what deeper than that? Like, where does that all born out of? Like, what's the drinking
I don't
the
know.
blood of children? This is doing nothing for you? QAnon.
It's not doing anything for you.
QAnon.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes.
QAnon.
Okay.
Although I don't know why it's on here as a conspiracy theory and not a tax-exempt religion at this point, but right?
Yeah.
Do you know much about QAnon?
Not a ton, to be honest. Not a ton.
I'm going to fill you in.
Okay.
Okay. So, and this QAnon thing is the thing, like, most Trump supporters believe in at least parts of QAnon.
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind that this is a widely believed theory that I'm about to tell you. And it starts, we go from 0 to 10 right away. It's the umbrella term for a set of internet conspiracy theories that allege, falsely, that the world is run by a cabal of Satan-worshipping pedophiles. QAnon followers believe that this cabal includes Democrats like President Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, as well as a number of entertainers and Hollywood celebrities like Oprah Winfrey, Tom Hanks, and Ellen DeGeneres, and religious figures including the Pope and the Dalai Lama. They're all part of a Satan-worshipping pedophile cabal. Art.
Well, Ellen DeGeneres might, beat her,
I'll give her that.
whatever she does with her interns or something. But I don't know about.
I don't think she's drinking the blood out of them, though, to worship the devil, but she could be. You're right. We don't know for sure.
She could be.
Many theorists also believe that in addition to molesting children, members of this group kill and eat their victims to extract a life-extending chemical called adrenochrome. I'm sorry, like, you can hate Hillary Clinton, but to think of her in a room with a bunch of dead children and she's, like, naked drinking their blood, like...
It's hot.
It's
I
hot.
know. That's what you're saying.
Like, people believe this.
Yeah.
Like, to their core, enough to go to jail because they're storming the Capitol.
Yeah.
According to QAnon lore, former President Donald Trump was recruited by top military generals to run for president in 2016 to break up this criminal conspiracy and bring its members to justice. In fact, Mr. Trump is the central heroic figure in the whole core narrative of QAnon, the brave patriot who was chosen to save America from the global cabal. As a result, most QAnon believers expected that he would easily win re-election and spend his second term vanquishing the deep state and bringing the satanic pedophiles to justice.
These satanic pedophiles, man. It's just not one thing that they have to be pedophiles. They also have to be satanic.
Right. And also, I know some Satanists. They're more chill than a lot of Christian people.
I bet you look really good in goth makeup, don't you, Nick?
No comment.
Yes, of course, QAnon. Yes, of course. I sometimes try to filter this stuff out of my life just so that I don't have to, deal with it day in and day out. Because you're right. It gets a little depressing to read things like this day in and day out. But of course, this is one. I mean, my blanket thoughts on it are just that, man, belief is a hell of a drug, right?
Right. It's a cult. I mean, it really is the same exact principles that get cults off the ground is what is going on here with QAnon.
It is. There's a lot of cult stuff where I have a background in, of course, I've talked about this on the show. I am an armchair psychologist. I have a degree in psychology. Allows me to
Nerd alert.
Just easily diagnose anybody. What was that?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, Nick. And you keep your little snide comments. Patient's log.
Write it in your little patient log. Yep, there you go.
Is a huge dick.
Whoa. Has a huge dick. Yep, got it.
Oh, okay. No, but it's like, there's this sort of thing of like, this outward kind of, not to get too hoity-toity, like high and mighty on this, but it's like, you're looking for other things to blame rather than kind of looking inward, or you're just trying to deal with just the difficulties of life, right? Yeah. The horrors of life. There's people out there who are really struggling, and so they oftentimes then go like, well, it's that guy's fault that I'm struggling, or that's that person's fault, right?
It's like you said when we were talking about lizard people, that would make things so much easier.
It would make things so much easier. Oh, it's just satanic pedophiles. Yeah. Duh. It's not that, economy this, stuff, this is bad, this is horrible in my life, or whatever, right? Yeah. It's that, it's just satanic pedophiles.
Maybe, if we were only so lucky, Art. But QAnon believers still think that the storm, they call it the storm, is coming, where Trump will be replanted into office. And for me and Brandon took a really deep dive on QAnon on a 10ish Pod Plus bonus episode. So if you want to dive deeper, I will refer you there. Well, we've made it all the way to number 1, and you haven't even come close to this one yet. You haven't mentioned it.
Does that have something to do with the weather?
No, but I mean, weather's affected. This is the stupidest one on here.
God damn. Well, I just want to say this, 10ish Pod listeners. I mean, clearly I'm one of the greatest Tennis Pod Sidekick hosts.
Okay. Wow.
I've been invited back multiple times.
Oh.
I've gotten at least, I don't know, 4 or 5, maybe even 6 or 7, possibly even 8.
No.
Correct guesses in a row. It's an all-time record for the Tennis Pod. And quite frankly, you know, I don't want to be one of these people who like steals the spotlight. So I'm going to bow out from trying to take a guess at the number one, and I'll just let you say it, Nick, because, you know, I don't want to be one of these people. It's not that I don't know.
Wow.
I clearly do.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to go with. So
Wow. I think, hang on, I'm going to give the listeners a minute to finish laughing at the idea that you're one of the best sidekick hosts yet.
Oh, Nick, no one's ever laughed at anything I've ever said.
Well, ain't that the truth? I just laughed at you as I said that, though. So there you go. All right. Number 1, the dumbest conspiracy theory we've discussed yet, but it is the number 1 most Google search theory in the world last year. That is the flat Earth conspiracy theory.
Oh, dude. Duh. Ah.
So how badly do you believe in this, Art? You're willing to fight to the death over it?
Yeah, man. I can't wait to go to the edge of the world and then jump.
You can't, because there's a giant ice wall there, idiot, obviously.
This is the White Walkers.
Yeah.
I watched a clip recently. Famous strip club hymn singer and all-around auto-tune genius T-Pain is streams on Twitch very frequently, and he's very funny, and he's got tons of cool stuff. He's talking about flat Earth, and he said this hilarious thing where he just goes, "Dude, I just want to know what's underneath." Like,
that's
true.
true.
Like, okay, yeah, it's flat, but like, what's underneath? And I was like, what is underneath, dude?
How can it be under... the Earth can't be flat because we can dig under the Earth like miles.
What's underneath?
What's underneath the Earth? I need to know. I'll tell you what's underneath. Nothing. Nothing there.
Nothing.
Just like if you were to dig into my soul, you'd find nothing there, Art.
Yeah, no, there's nothing. It's just darkness.
T-Pain probably has plenty of light and sunshine underneath him, though.
Oh, sure.
He's in love with the stripper.
Yeah.
That was him, right?
Sure.
Modern flat Earth beliefs are promoted by organizations and individuals advocating that the Earth is flat while denying the Earth's sphericity, contrary to over 2 millennia of scientific consensus. I love the way that's put.
2 millennia of scientific consensus. Wow.
There's a popular yet false belief that the Earth was generally believed to be flat until a few hundred years ago. We've all heard that probably. I definitely did. That Christopher Columbus, when he was sailing the seas, at that time they thought the Earth was flat and that he would end up, you know.
Right.
But it's said that that's actually a falsehood because the Earth's sphericity, its roundness, has been widely accepted in the Western world since at least the Hellenistic period, 323 BC to 31 BC. So it's been accepted for a long time that the Earth was round.
Wow.
It was not until the 19th century that the flat Earth concept had a resurgence. Now, there's a Flat Earth Society gaining tons of members every year, and their most recent planet model is that humanity lives on a disk, Art, with the North Pole at its center, and a 150-foot or 46-meter wall of ice, Antarctica, at the outer edge.
Wow.
Really is like the wall.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, in Game of Thrones. According to the most widely spread version of current flat Earth theory, NASA is guarding the Antarctic ice wall that surrounds the Earth. So if you tried to get to the edge of the Earth and try to get to this Arctic wall, NASA's going to stop your ass. Why NASA is doing that for the entire world when NASA has no authority in anywhere but the United States is beyond me. Flat Earthers argue that NASA manipulates and fabricates its satellite images based on observations that the color of oceans changes from image to image and that continents seem to be in different places. The spherical shape causes a number of effects and phenomena that combine to disprove Flat Earth beliefs. These include the visibility of distant objects on Earth's surface, lunar eclipses, appearance of the moon, observation of the sky from altitude, observation of certain fixed stars from different locations, observing the sun, surface navigation, grid distortion on a spherical surface, weather systems, gravity, and modern technology.
Oh my God.
So after all that,
Louise. Nick is spent.
I'm spent. And clearly, I just told you why the Earth is flat right now.
Oh, man. I sometimes forget that this is still a thing or that this is even around, to be honest.
It's really popular right now.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of people that are into this. Again,
It's
belief is
fun.
a hell of a drug.
It's fun to dive into it, just to think
it's
about
fun
like
to mock.
what if.
Yeah,
but
right.
and to mock, of course. But is it real? Like, no. I think the moon landing being fake is more realistic than this.
My other question is kind of like, I guess I don't really care.
Yeah, who gives a shit if the Earth's flat? What does that change about anything?
I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't really change much, man. We might be in a simulation. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And none of us are going to be here, and this whole planet's going to be gone in the next few decades anyway. So what's it matter?
No, there's been so many people they've seen the Earth from space. It's like,
yeah.
I am curious on the origins of this. We never covered this topic.
It's been around for a long time.
It has been around for a long time.
But I've seen some people say that, well, they care about the Earth being flat because that means there's more Earth out there beyond those Arctic walls that we don't know about.
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah.
See, that reminds me of a topic that I love, which is Hollow Earth, which is this idea that there's like this fun civilization of weird, wacky things and dinosaurs that live in the Earth. And it's like, hey, okay, that could be plausible. Sure, why not? That's fun.
Did you, and you probably didn't because nobody did, but I did. Did you see the Disney movie Strange World came out late last year?
That was, The Rock was in that?
No.
Okay.
It's an animated film that like bombed at the box office, but it's it's on Disney Plus now. Anyway, it's pretty good, but they basically explore this theory, and there's these walls that no one's ever been beyond. Anyway.
It feels very Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah.
That there's this secret stuff. You have to go beyond the ice wall, and it's like...
It's fun for a movie.
This is fun. I mean, it's fun. I think it's a fun topic. It's just that, like, the seriousness of which people take it is a little like, can you relax?
Yeah.
Can we just all chill out? It's like...
Let's motorboat some alien tits for a minute. Just clear the mind.
Yeah, and I mean, it's... you fly in a plane, you can see the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah, that's the point I was making earlier. It's like, you just need your eyeballs to see that the Earth is not flat.
Scientifically, as far as like how tides work, other things like
how the sun works.
The sun, it's just like it couldn't be flat.
And would that mean that every planet is flat in that case?
I guess so. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, what about the other planets? I don't. So
Art clearly works for NASA.
I am an astronaut. I guess I'll reveal it. I am an astronaut. I've been to space.
So was the moon landing real or fake, Art?
I did help fake the moon landing, actually. Yeah, I did. The thing is, they took it in a different direction. Mm-hmm. So they started with me, and then they went with Stanley Kubrick, which is fine. He's all right.
Yeah.
I had a little bit more of like, it was going to be like a little bit more avant-garde, a little bit more risque, a little bit French Nouveau, very nude, very much me.
Yeah, but in a tasteful way.
Yeah. It's like if the centerfold of a Playgirl met like some Flash Gordon reels. Like that's what I was going for with
No, see, I think that's better. If instead of watching the moon landing live on TV in America in 1969, instead they replaced it with just what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone was so distracted by the brilliance of that they're like, they didn't even care that they missed the moon landing.
You know what's wild about the moon landing? I'm sorry, I want to say this just really quick because I'm such a fact nerd that I just remembered, is the original copy of it has been destroyed. Did you know that?
Like the tape of the moon landing?
The original tape, yeah.
Yeah, no. How is it destroyed?
It was recorded on some like old kind of technology, right?
Mm-hmm.
The feed coming from the lunar module was like, it's a feed that couldn't go live on the TVs because it's a different kind of data and the transfer of the time. And so they recorded it to some kind of thing, and then they took that thing, transferred it to a different thing, then played it on a TV screen, and then filmed a monitor, boomer style. Like they pointed a TV camera at a monitor that was playing it, and that's how America saw the moon landing.
Yeah.
And so that original copy of whatever they recorded it to went into a shelf, and then like 40 years later, they were like, oh shit, like we don't have any more copies. Like we ran out of those floppy disk things that we used to copy to. Just write over the moon landing. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Well,
they did.
Yeah, it's amazing that like humans nowadays are much more careful with preserving history, but it's amazing we have a lot of the shit we have given how stupid humans are. But that's crazy. And I'm surprised that Americans in 1969 figured out how to not just get on the moon, but also televise it around the world.
Dude, there's some smart frickin' people out there who work so freaking hard and they achieve really cool things. And I think sometimes these conspiracies...
Thank you, Art. I know you're talking about me with this tennis podcast.
I am. And it's really the podcasters. That's it. It's not these people who study math and science and they toil away and they achieve their dreams. Fuck them. It's dorks and losers like us who figure out how to hook a microphone to a computer and put it out on the internet. We're the heroes.
Yeah. When do we get our due? But you know what's cool, Art, to tie a bow on the moon landing stuff is in our lifetime, very soon here, we're going to see another moon landing.
That's right.
Broadcast live. And not long after that, we're going to see a Mars landing with humans on Mars.
That's right. I hope that we make it to Mars, Nick.
I do
I
too.
think that if we make it to Mars, I'd like to be
Do you mean
your
us
neighbor.
personally? Or just people?
Yeah, I think we'll both go to Mars. You'll settle down with your family somewhere. I, of course, will follow you. And, I think it would be great if I could be your neighbor. What do you think? Would you like to go buy those plots right now? We could go buy Mars plots together right now. What do you think?
I would love to. And I think
Wow.
it's extremely likely that our grandchildren are, I don't know if it's extremely likely. It's at least likely that our grandchildren are visiting, if not living on Mars at some point.
You don't think we'll see it in our lifetimes?
I don't think my feet will be on Mars in my lifetime, no. But
Not if I have anything to do about it.
hey, I'd love to be wrong. I looked it up. The human mission to Mars is planned for the 2030s.
Wow.
2033 is the target date. So 10 years from now.
Dude, we're going to blink and it'll be happening.
Yep.
I'll be on for the Tennis Pod fucking
Episode
12-year
15-year reunion.
15-year, breaking off the 15th year, and there'll be like the top 10 missions.
This is great. You're done.
Cut that whole fucking
I ain't
piece
cutting
out.
it. I'm leaving it. I think this is a good time to...
I lost it. I lost it at the end.
It's a good time to save you here and recap the top 10 list. So we got top 10 most Google search conspiracy theories in 2022. Number 10 was the moon landing was fake. 9 was the Roswell incident. 8 was the lizard people. 7 was Bohemian Grove. 6 is Area 51. 5 is Princess Diana's death. 4 is the JFK assassination. 3 is QAnon. 2 is the New World Order, brother. And number 1 is Flat Earth. What do you think?
I think it's a beautiful list.
Thank you, Art. I put a lot of work into it.
Hosted by a beautiful man.
Thank you very much. And from one beautiful man to another, I'd love for you to give the listeners a little more. You told them about your show already, but tell them about any recent topics or topics coming up that you think they should be sure to check out.
Love to. So yeah, again, it's Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast. You can find it anywhere podcasts are sold, www.mrbunkersconspiracytime.com. We've got a lot of great topics coming out, but something I'm excited about is a kind of new style of show. I don't know what to call this. It's on the same feed. It's called Tales from the Bunker. It's kind of where Andy and I are diving into, sort of like, I would describe it as like Ripley's Believe It or Not style stuff, or things that maybe aren't as conspiracy laden where there's a question. They're more finite. There's a specific endpoint, right? Like pretty recently we covered The King in Yellow, which you might recall from True Detective or Lovecraft or numerous other works. It's really fun. We dive into stories of The King in Yellow, the mythos, and we just uncover it and have a lot of fun. So check that out, MrBunkersConspiracyTime.com.
Yep. Check the show notes. There'll be a direct link. That reminds me, we're going to be doing a show coming up on the King of Brown. So that's...
That's me after I have a big bowl of chili. You call me the King and Brown. You know what I'm saying? Jesus Christ, Nick.
Oh, man. Okay, well, this has been fun, Art. I love talking with you. I love talking about conspiracy theories. So it was a great marriage match made in heaven.
This was great, Nick. Thank you so much for having me on again, man.
Thanks for coming on. And to the listeners, I appreciate you so much for listening. I hope you'll come back next week for episode number 209. I'll be back with Dr. Buster. We'll be making his triumphant booty clap in return. And as I leave, I'll just say, don't forget to check out that new bonus episode on the top 10 reasons people are fired on Tennis Pod Plus. If you have any feedback on this episode, feel free to hit me up anytime on Instagram and Twitter at TheNickAmel. And you can also email me directly at tennispod@gmail.com. Truth is out there, people. If you are willing to face it, I don't know, some conspiracy saying. That's the end of the show. Bye.
Hey everyone, I'm Sean.
And I'm Joe.
And we are the hosts of The Horror Show, the show that dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not so favorite cult classics and horror movies.
Join us every week as we pick another movie that we try desperately to find the good in while laughing our way through the bad.
and there's a lot of bad. So join us every week on any of your favorite podcasting apps and services, or find us at ihatehorror.com or on Instagram at ihatehorror. Adios!